If someone told you your biggest mistake wasn't loving the wrong person but trusting the wrong stranger, would you believe them? Probably not. But that's exactly where the story begins, with a stranger who shouldn't have known her name, yet somehow knew everything. Her name was Aria, and the night she realized she wasn't alone was the night her normal life died. It started with the sound, a faint scraping noise behind her bedroom wall at 3:12 a.m. Not a knock, not a creak, a scratching, slow and deliberate, like someone dragging their fingernails across the other side of the plaster. You don't forget a sound like that. You don't sleep after it either. But here's the real question Aria couldn't shake. Who the hell would be scratching from inside a wall in a sixth-floor apartment? The next morning, she found something worse, a note taped to her door from the outside.
No envelope. No de queraschen.
Just one sentence written in rushed, chaotic handwriting. I heard you too. Her stomach twisted so violently she almost dropped it. Because she hadn't told anyone about the sound. She hadn't even said it out loud. So, how did someone else hear it? That was the first sign she wasn't alone. But the second sign? That one was the reason she stopped breathing for a full 3 seconds. At exactly 9:47 a.m., her phone buzzed with a notification she didn't recognize. A shared album. Title: You Tonight. She clicked it, and every photo inside was of her, walking to the store, entering her building, standing at her kitchen window, sitting on her couch, sleeping. Aria's entire body went cold. She felt her lungs shaking inside her ribs. Because there is fear. And then there is the moment you realize the phrase, "you never sleep alone," was never meant to be romantic. She deleted the album, blocked the sender, threw her phone on the couch, but blocking doesn't stop someone who's already inside your life. Or worst, inside your walls. That night, the scratching returned. But this time it wasn't behind the wall. It was under her bed. Aria froze in place, every muscle locked. The scratching was soft at first, then faster, then desperate, like someone trapped and begging to be let out. Except there was no room under her bed. Nothing could fit there. Not even a person. Her thoughts cut off when the scratching stopped. Silence. Then a single slow tap. Right under where her feet touched the floor. She didn't move. She didn't breathe. She didn't think she even existed anymore. In the morning, Aria did what any terrified person does. She ran, grabbed her bag, and bolted to work without showering, without breakfast, without even locking the door properly. And she thought she'd escaped the nightmare for at least a few hours. She was wrong. At 11:06 a.m., her coworker tapped her shoulder and whispered that someone was looking for her in the lobby. Aria didn't want to go, but curiosity is cruel. She stepped out, expecting a delivery. But there was no delivery.
No stranger.
No one. Only a box.
Small. Black.
Left on the floor with her name written in thick marker. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a phone. Not hers. A cheap burner phone. It lit up the moment she touched it. A video started playing automatically. The video was dark.
Shaky.
Filmed from very close to the floor. And it showed the underside of her bed.
Her bed.
From last night. Aria watched in horror as a pale hand slowly reached out of the darkness beneath the mattress, then retreated just as quietly. The video ended with a final frame, a zoomed-in shot of her bare feet standing inches above the hand. She felt like vomiting, like collapsing, like screaming until her lungs bled. But then the burner phone vibrated. A new message appeared. Just 5 words. Words that made her knees go weak. I moved to the closet. She didn't check the closet. She couldn't. Instead, she ran out of the building, out of the street, out of her own life if she could. She didn't know where she was going, only that she had to get away. But the real horror was waiting for her at the crosswalk. A man in a black hoodie stood on the opposite side of her. No expression, no movement, just watching her, not blinking. She tried to look away. She tried to pretend he wasn't staring straight into her soul. But then she noticed it. He was holding something. Not a weapon. Not a note. Not a phone. He was holding her bedroom key. The one she lost 2 weeks ago and convinced herself she had misplaced. Aria's blood turned to ice. Her legs stopped responding. Her throat felt like it was caving in. Because the truth hit her harder than anything else. This wasn't a stranger who started watching her. This was someone who had been inside her life, inside her home, inside her space, long before she noticed. Aria wanted to scream, to run, to disappear, but her body refused to obey. It felt like fear had wrapped itself around her bones and squeezed until she couldn't breathe. Because seeing the man with her bedroom key didn't just terrify her. It confirmed something far worse. He hadn't broken into her life. He had been living in it. The man in the hoodie didn't move,
Didn't speak.
didn't blink. He simply held the key by the metal ring, letting it swing slightly in the wind, the way someone might dangle bait in front of an animal they've already trapped. Arya stepped back, but the man stepped forward. One slow, deliberate step, like he was testing how far she would go before running. And she did run. She bolted across the street, heart slamming in her chest so violently she felt dizzy. She didn't look behind her, not because she wasn't curious, but because she already knew the truth. Some nightmares don't chase you. They wait for you to come back. She didn't go home. She didn't go to work. She didn't call anyone. She went to the one place she thought no one would think to look, a cheap, rundown motel on the edge of the city, where the walls smelled like mold and the lights flickered like dying fireflies. She paid cash. She didn't give her real name. She didn't even take the elevator, just sprinted up the stairs and locked herself inside room 207. But safety isn't a place. Safety is a lie you tell yourself. Because the moment she closed the door, her phone buzzed again. Another message. Another unknown number. Arya didn't want to open it. But fear makes decisions for you. She swiped the screen. Wrong motel. Her heart stopped. Completely. How did he know where she was? How did he know she wasn't home? How long had he been watching her today? And the worst question of all, how close was he now? She grabbed the dresser and shoved it against the door. She closed the curtains. She unplugged the lamp because the flicker made her feel exposed. Every instinct screamed at her to run again. But where do you go when someone sees you everywhere? Her phone buzzed once more. She didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't blink, just stared. Then she opened it. A photo of room 207, taken from outside the window, taken seconds ago. Arya stumbled back so fast she slammed into the wall. Her throat tightened until she couldn't even gasp. She didn't go to the window, she couldn't. She didn't want to know if he was looking at her right now. But something worse grabbed her attention. The photo wasn't zoomed in. It wasn't blurry. It wasn't taken quickly. It was taken slowly, deliberately, with perfect framing, like he wanted her to see the handprint on the glass. A handprint. Large.
Clear.
Still fresh. She was no longer breathing normally. Her chest rose and fell in broken, panicked jerks. She backed into the bathroom and locked the door, even though she knew a flimsy motel lock wouldn't stop a man who already had her house key. She slid down the wall and hugged her knees to her chest. Every sound outside felt like a footstep. Every shadow felt alive. Every vibration of her phone felt like a heartbeat that wasn't hers. Then, very gently, like a whisper trying to be kind, her phone buzzed again. Another message. This one. Shorter.
Calmer.
Crueler. I was under your bed. You never checked the closet. Her vision blurred. Her skin felt ice cold. Her thoughts spiraled into static. She hadn't checked the closet. She hadn't checked anything. She had just run. And then came the message that shattered whatever courage she had left. The man finally wrote his first words that weren't a warning or a taunt. Arya opened the bathroom door. Her blood froze. because there was only one way he could write that. He was already inside room 207. He was already in the room with her. He wasn't outside. He wasn't watching through a window. He was in the room. Only one thin bathroom door separated them. Arya clamped her hand over her mouth, holding in a sob. She pressed her back harder against the wall, her entire body trembling. She whispered one question to herself, a question she already knew the answer to. How long has he been here? Because the real horror wasn't the scratching under her bed, or the videos, or the key, or the handprint on the glass. The real horror was this. He hadn't been breaking into her life. He'd been moving with her. And now he wanted the door open.